This is He Knows the Sport, bringing you that heat and fart. We keeping the foot on the whoop, the Knicks. We keeping the foot on the whoop, the Knicks. And like the better master that I am, I'm applying whoop on immediate pressure. Because pressure does what? Eat person's pipes. Let's talk about it, man. See, this is what they're not telling you, man. That LeBron, Ramon James, i.e. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, i.e. basically too fucking brittle, too light in the fucking ass. Or how you would say this, A, delight. Or Anthony damaged. Or and damaged. However you want to fucking say this shit. The bottom line is as simple as this. The Los Angeles Lakers ain't fooling nobody. This is what's called typical Leload Lamanagement, man. They're trying to have LeBron James and Anthony Davis fresh. See, the Lakers have a record to where they don't have to be number one in the West. They got a good record solid because LeBron James got gooned in the ref squads. We call them the Lagoon refs in the NBA. Jeannie Buss got cachet, man. Jeannie Buss is well fucking known, man. She's one of the top owners. There's levels to this ownership now. Because she's an owner of the Los Angeles Lakers, she doesn't have the regular cachet that a regular owner has for a basketball team. Her cachet supersedes that. Her cachet is one of what we would say she's an owner of a prestigious organization, one of the top two teams in basketball. When we think of basketball, we think of the Lakers and we think of the Celtics, right? Because if they're winning, their prestige, right? And their cachet, right? Well, she's part of the number one, the Los Angeles Lakers. What market is bigger than them? See, people have to think about this. So it's a lot of things that make you say, look, It's a lot of things that make you say, look, So in this most cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat to the fashion, we have to ask ourselves the delineation, the distinction, the gulf, and the separation. And what is that? That LeBron James and Anthony Davis are taking time off, not because they are really injured. They're taking time off because they have what's called publicized or publicized injuries that are artificial as fuck. You guys are gonna know how you know this? You want to know how this is going to be evident? And you're going to say, damn, He Knows the Sport did say this shit, though. He Knows the Sport did predict this. And a prediction king strikes again, that they all of a sudden so fresh and ready for the NBA playoffs. They're going to bring these motherfuckers back just 2 to 3 weeks shy before the playoffs. So that way they can get their basketball conditioning back. They could be right in basketball rhythm prior to the playoffs. Because they're going to want both of these guys clicking on all cylinders. Because we understand how basketball is. There's practice shape. There's plain old being in regular shape. There's practice shape. And then there's in-game, in-fucking shape. That's a whole different animal in of itself. And you don't get in-game, in shape unless you fucking playing basketball. You got to be playing basketball in these games to get like that. And that's what you guys are going to see in this most cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat fashion. They're preserving LeBron James because they don't want to tell you that LeBron James's body is fucking brittle. Anthony Davis been brittle as fuck. You know, since Sport told you, all you got to do is blow on fucking Anthony Davis. But see, what they're doing is they're preserving these guys, and they're preserving them so that way they can be fresh. Because it's not like they're not injured. Everybody's fucking injured. Everybody's a walking fucking injury. Nobody's 100%. There's no fucking such thing as 100% in basketball. If you've played the sport, you know you're going to have some degree of wear and tear. But what He Knows the Sport is telling you guys is the injury that they're telling you guys is not what's publicized. The injury that you guys are hearing about them is not what's actually happening. This is not the degree of injuries that they have. And the reason why you guys are going to see this, and it's going to be denoted to you guys, and it's going to be evident and prevalent, is because these guys right here, they are going to come all of a sudden back, and all of a sudden they can play out of their ass. People that are really injured, they don't come back like that. They have what Kevin Durant has. Basically, they got to be treaded slowly and carefully, because Kevin Durant, you can trace back his Achilles injury. It is credible. It is evident. That's why the Brooklyn Nets are treading lightly with this guy, because they know that the Achilles injury has taken out 3 out of 4 motherfuckers. Dominique Wilkins beat it, but Isaiah Thomas couldn't beat it. Kobe couldn't beat it. You see what I'm saying? DeMarcus Cousins couldn't beat that shit. So they're treading lightly and treading carefully. But Anthony Davis don't really have an Achilles injury because what he was doing when they supposedly said that he initially had it, his ass should have been permanently fucking injured. He should have been on permanent injured reserve, but he wasn't. So you guys have to ask yourselves these underlying currents and these underlying truths. Why does LeBron James and Anthony Davis get to get a rap sheet that says that they're supposedly injured, but by playoff time they're going to be fresh? It's because they understand the imminent threat of Brooklyn Nets. They understand where Brooklyn is at. Jeannie Buss made this very evident when she basically indirectly gave credence to the threat that is the Brooklyn Nets. They know Brooklyn is where it's at. They know Brooklyn's finest is in the building. They know that Kevin Durant is Mr. Anti-LeBron. He's the 35 cook a little in a shot of the eye of LeBron James. And they know he's back to restore the natural order of basketball. They know that he is the natural order of basketball restorer. So they're feeling some type of way. See, we got to call a spade here. We got to keep it a buck. We got to keep it 100. We got to keep it a real, recognize this real situation here. We got to keep it gully. And we have to be authentic and consistent about this. Why aren't they being more descriptive of LeBron James's injury? Why are they saying it's indefinite? Usually when somebody's injured, you get a status report that tells you basically that this person is going to be back in X amount of weeks. But with LeBron, it's indefinite. Indefinite is a bullshit term. The San Antonio Spurs, the first ones that originated load management, told you about this shit when they had the indefinite tag on a Manu Ginobili, on a Tony Parker, on a Tim Duncan, and on a Kawhi Leonard. They've done this at the highest levels. This is why Kawhi Leonard has mastered the art of load management, because he learned it at the foot mastership of a Greg Popovich, who was the one that ingratiated it, who was the one that initiated it, who was the mastermind and the brilliance behind it. Because when you do this, it makes you fresh for the real NBA season, the postseason. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat truth teller fashion. So don't fall for that little bullshit and that little fuck shit of LeBron James and Anthony Davis are supposedly la hurt. It's the biggest la cockamamie la nonsense ever la existed. And if you guys are too much of brain full of mush and brainwashed dodo heads, and you allow your corpus callosum or your cerebellum or what you have left thereof is diluted, beguiled, betwixt, bamboozled by this, then it's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, So we have to ask ourselves this question. Why isn't there a timetable of return for LeBron James? Why isn't there a timetable of return for Anthony Davis? You see, when you start asking yourself this bigger picture question, you know what you're going to end up saying? Hino's Sport is onto something. And Hino's Sport just opened the La Pandora's La Box. And you know what that is? It's called the La Truth that LeBron James's injury is nothing but, like his name, La Fraud fucking James. And that Anthony Davis's injury, like Anthony Davis, is nothing but what? Nothing but bullshit and fuck shit. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat teller fashion. I keeps the foot on the whoop on the Knicks. I keeps the foot on the whoop on the Knicks. This is Hino's Sport. Check it out.